all the way off. They're hung up on his helmet. He's got that little fin in the back, and you can see the goggles are stuck off to the right. There, he finally lets him go.
Well, the fin was real cool, and it was great styling, but it's not good for taking goggles off, David Bailey.
No, and normally you don't have to worry about it, usually worrying about your goggles, but here you do. The conditions are horrible out there. Let's just think about this. He's been leading most of the way, and his goggles are trash.
Ricky Carmichael looking for his 3rd consecutive win. In Atlanta, it was the first time he put 2 back-to-back in Supercross. As we go to Robbie Raynard, number 21. The former Arena Cross champion in '93, 4 podiums last year. 3 of those were second places. He got a 2nd place in the opening round of 125 East, but an 8th place in Atlanta put him back in the standings. Ty Wallace has moved into 4th as we see the Honda stopwatch and Ricky Carmichael going through the picture.
And I think that lead has shrunk. Back to Robbie Raynard. Raynard cutting a little bit of time out of it. I don't think that Carmichael's that worried, and I know he lost some time trying to fiddle with his goggles, but it's back to just under 9 seconds now.
8.9 to be exact.
Yep, Raynard closed a little bit, and that will fluctuate a little bit with lapped riders, but he did lose time trying to get rid of his goggles. Now he can't see as good, so it'll be tougher for him from here on out. If Raynard's got goggles, that should help him, and he'll close the gap a little bit towards the end.
Wallace is down, so I assume that Sellards has moved back into 4th place with Robbie Raynard riding through the fog. We were worried about rain here tonight, and now we got the heavy stuff. Uh-oh. A rider down. It looks like Keeney, and it doesn't look like Keeney's going to get up too quickly. Holding his hand. We've had so many hand injuries this year. Ricky Carmichael, our leader. Can he make it 3 in a row? The record for wins in the 125 Eastern season held by Doug Henry and Brian Swink, 93 and 92 respectively. We'll be right back to see if Robbie Raynard can keep it through the fog right after this. Welcome back. The Foghorns of San Francisco is what we need right now, David Bailey, as Ricky Carmichael leads on the Suzuki leaderboard.
Still going pretty fast. There's no goggles, fog, ruts, jersey flapping in the breeze. That's his signature. He can't keep anything tucked in, but he goes fast.
1:11 lap times. There's Brock Sellards, number 36. Good shot of Brock.
The lap times have really gotten slower here. The last 5 or 6 laps, they have just, I was starting to say drop. That would be faster. They've really increased.
One thing about Brock is he's riding with his right hand all taped up. He got a vicious cut in that hand in qualifying in Atlanta. In fact, after the main event, which he took 16th place in just riding, his gloves were just soaked with blood when he came off. And so he had 9 stitches put in that hand, and he's riding in that condition right now.
And these are probably the worst conditions to try to go out there and ride in, too, because you've got to hold on so tight.
I don't know. Can you remember a 125 KTM podium?
Not that I can think of. They were close to one last week.
Well, Robbie Horton.
Look at that. Even when you jump the double jump, you land in a rut. Almost. There's times out here where even if you do something right, you still don't get the payback because you land in the mud and almost go over the handlebars. It's just becoming a rut almost all the way around the racetrack. With the 250s coming up next and the threatening weather, I don't think they're going to go out and work this track much. So this will be the worst conditions in Supercross that I can think of since perhaps Dallas when it was so muddy. And even there, it was a little easier because they had a hard-packed base.
No telling what Brock Sellards can do if he ever gets a good start the way he's been racing, especially injured. Ricky Carmichael, our leader, he's closing in on a white flag.
He's going to come into a little smoke screen there. Maybe somebody's bike overheat.
Casey Lytle in 5th place. What a remarkable comeback he's had after going down. Lytle in 3rd place, crashed. White flag is getting ready for our leader, Ricky Carmichael. It is waving for the Pro Circuit rider, Ricky Carmichael. One more lap.
It's waving for Carmichael, who's only about 50 yards behind Lytle. So he has lapped that far into the field.
So Ricky Carmichael, whose most exciting race of the year actually has been a qualifying round last week. When he went down, was in 12th and came back to win it.
He is just amazing, pulling away. Raynard's still riding a good, strong race, but Carmichael is in a class by himself. We keep saying it, sounding like a broken record, but he is lapping Casey Lytle right there.
And he's up to 6th place on his lap around. Now he's up to 5th place with the passing of Lytle. Well, the 250s are going to have to get those little swing lights like Jeremy McGrath had above his helmet once in Anaheim. Remember that?
That was a great helmet, tail light. And that's all anyone saw, too, his tail.
Blinking tail lights.
About 100 yards to go for Carmichael.
Ricky Carmichael on way to his 6th career 125 victory. Ricky Carmichael. And so Ricky continues to dominate this 125 East. 3 wins in a row with Daytona coming up next week. Here's our 2nd place rider, Robbie Raynard. So we'll take a look at the official finishes that come out of the fog when we return.